There are two kinds of Fortnite players. Here we have player 1. Player 1 struggles with game sense and has been playing for 6 hours and has been playing 1v1s, playing zone wars, practicing their edits and playing ranked all night. And here we have player 2. Player 2 has had a 4-hour focused Fortnite session. They know exactly what to work on, how to do it, and barely waste any time against bad players. On tournament day, I think you know who plays better. It was player 2, by the way. You might be wondering, how could that guy place better than me when I played more? Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to play less but improve more. The first step is to get out of the mindset that improvement is about the hours you play. Instead, you need to understand that it's more about how and what you play compared to the time you spend playing. Here's an example. Let's say you have 4 hours to play. Did you play 1v1s with your friends and mindlessly play ranked, or did you look at your games to spot your weaknesses, adapt your routine to focus on your weaknesses, and play against the best players possible? Well, depending on which one of these you do, you'll see a huge difference in how fast you improve. Okay, now you're in the right mindset, let's move on to the second tip, which is to record your weaknesses. The reason this will help you improve more, even if you play less, is because your routine will be more focused on what you actually need to improve on, so you won't be wasting any time practicing something you just don't need to practice. Now, the first step in recording your weaknesses is actually knowing how to find your weaknesses. This is something every top pro does, and you need to start doing it too. There are 2 good ways to find your weaknesses. The second one is better in my opinion, but the first one is more simple, so let's go over that first. To do this, you just want to simply play the game, specifically ranked or 1v1s against good players, preferably ranked. And if you notice a mistake you make in a fight that causes you to take unnecessary damage or even die, then write it down, and that's one weakness. Then you can continue to do this every day and you'll start to see what your actual weaknesses are. The second way is to look back at your games in ranked or scrims. Then look at how you died and categorize them into one of the following categories: building, editing, movement and peaks, aim, advantage and disadvantage, like if you're getting the advantage but you're not being able to finish the fight, awareness, and confidence. You can also include rotations for the end game. Once you've categorized the reason you died, if you died to that same category again, then put a tick next to that category. You can also be more specific if you want and include subcategories like peace control for building. And after some time, you'll be able to see which categories need the most work. These are your weaknesses, and once you have your weaknesses, you need to follow tip 3, which is to adapt your routine. So after you have your weaknesses and know what you need to work on the most, you need to change your routine to work on your weaknesses. Now, there are lots of weaknesses, so I can't cover all of them in this video, but here are some examples of popular weaknesses and how you should adapt your routine to focus on these weaknesses. Let's say one of your weaknesses is peace control. If this is the case, you should add some peace control practice into your routine, like the peace control tunnels in Raiders Mechanics training map or the peace control X peak training section in Raiders Mechanics map. I recommend the peak training one because it also trains your peaks at the same time. And if one of your weaknesses is hitting headshots, then add some headshot only box fights into your warm-up. If one of your weaknesses is endgame rotates, then add some scrims into your routine, or spend more time in scrims if they're already a part of your routine. Basically, the goal is to adapt and change your routine to focus on your weaknesses. There is a way to make this slightly easier, and that's to follow tip 4, which is to give yourself goals. Now, before you click off the video because you don't want to set any goals, you think it's boring and doesn't help, I don't blame you for thinking that, because the way you're thinking you need to make goals actually isn't even the right way. So let me explain how you should actually give yourself goals and how you can actually improve by setting goals. So after you've got your weaknesses, you simply want to write down 1 or 2 ways you can improve that weakness. So if you keep missing shotgun shots, for example, then write down what you can do to be able to hit your shotgun shots next time, like playing headshot only box fights or doing the shotgun react scenario in aim duels. And there you go, that's one goal already. The aim with creating these goals is to make them action based. What I mean by this is to make your goals based on an action action that you can take to improve one of your weaknesses, like playing angels or headshot only box fights, or going through peace control tunnels, or just free building just for 10 minutes per day and stuff like that. But to make setting goals effective, you need to action them. So once you've set your goal, make sure you actually follow through and adapt your routine to include your goals. The next step is to force yourself to play less. Now, I know you probably think I'm just joking or just saying this to clickbait you into watching, but trust me, I'm being 100% serious. Just let me explain. So there's this theory that has been proven multiple times called Parkinson's law. Now, if you know this, then please just stick around to let me explain why this links to Fortnite. The full definition of this sounds complicated, but the theory itself is simple. The amount of time you give yourself to do something is the amount of time it will take. So if you give yourself 2 hours to learn a new piece control move, it will take you 2 hours. But if you only give yourself like 15 minutes, it will take 15 minutes. Obviously, you'll have to keep doing these repetitions to build it into your muscle memory, but you get the point. And this is because if you give yourself 2 hours, even if that same task will take just 15 minutes, your brain will just be like, well, I still have another hour, so I can probably slow down. And if you think about it, you'll probably be able to remember a point in your life when you had something that needed to be done and you were given around a week to do it. But the task you actually needed to do could have only took a few hours. But because you were given a week to do it, that's how long it took you. The same thing applies to Fortnite. So I recommend giving yourself a time limit for each section of your routine. So here's an example. Give yourself 30 minutes to do mechanics training and 30 minutes to do aim training, instead of 45 minutes of mechanics training and 45 minutes of aim training. Again, that's just an example. If you can play more, you can play more. I'm just saying to be selective with the practice methods you do and actually play the practice methods properly. The goal is to waste as little time as possible. The problem with like 75% of players is that your routine is useless, and it's all because of one small mistake. And this mistake is that you don't go against the best players possible. Now, let me ask you a question. Who is going to improve more? Person A, who plays against a pro for 1 hour, or person B, who plays against a below average player for 3, even 4 hours? Well, if you guess person A, then you're right. They would improve so much faster than person B. In fact, person B would barely improve, and they could even get worse if they continue to go against bad players. This is because the bad player won't punish person B for their mistakes, which means they'll be able to get away with bad plays and bad peaks. And this will build their muscle memory to continuously make the bad peaks, not just against the bad player, but also against everyone else. Now, I can't make a video on this topic without including the next tip, which is to watch pros. This is something you can do to improve whilst not even playing the game at all. You can either watch pros inside of the Fortnite replay system, or you can watch pros Twitch streams and YouTube videos when they're playing tournaments and stuff like that. But you need to be watching and looking for the decisions they make. And then to improve from doing this, you want to try and replicate their moves and decisions into your own gameplay. Now, although someone who plays less but has a better routine will improve faster than someone who plays more and has a worse routine, it is still beneficial to play for as long as you can, because if you do have a good routine, you will improve faster if you play more. The more you play, the more you'll improve. But the reason I made this video was to show you that you will only improve if you have a good routine that follows the fundamentals I said in this video. Whether you play for 4 hours a day or 6 hours, it's much better to have a structured and effective shorter routine than it is to have a long routine where you play against your friends who are terrible and you don't focus on your weaknesses. And if you want to improve even faster, then you can like the video and subscribe and use code Blexiti in the Fortnite item shop. Okay, well, maybe that won't help you improve, but it will help out the channel, so I would really appreciate it. Anyway, if you want the best documents and routines to improve at Fortnite, ones used by pros and thousands of other people that have seen tremendous improvement, then make sure to join the Pro Reality, which is linked in the description. It has a bunch of routines, guides, exclusive videos, and pretty much everything you need to improve. But if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like and subscribe and use code Blexiti in the Fortnite item shop if you want to support me further. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.